Hello again, everyone. I just wanted to make a shorter video this time, and actually, instead of hearing from me as such, you're going to hear from Charles Spurgeon. Not because Charles Spurgeon is here, but last night I have a lot of Charles Spurgeon books which I inherited, some which I bought, some which I inherited from my grandfather, who was a pastor. But one of the books that I inherited was 300. Well, I say inherited. I just took them basically. But 365 Days with Spurgeon, Volume 2. I have both volumes. So when Rosie was feeding Talitha, putting her down to sleep last night, I thought I'll just have this by my bedside and just pick it up some evenings, not every evening, but just some evenings to have a look at. And the reason I wanted to read this one to you was because I thought it was particularly helpful and timely for us today. For 20th of March, and this was, I believe, preached in 1864, so a wee while ago. The devotion is called Christ is Glorious, Let Us Make Him Known, with a verse from Micah 5 verse 4, which says, And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God, and they shall abide. For now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. And the suggested further reading by the person who's edited the book is from Matthew 16, verse 13 to 18, which says, Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, Who do people say that the Son of Man is? And they said, Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said to them, But who do you say that I am? Simon Peter replied, You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And sorry, it's down to verse 18, my mistake. And Jesus answered him, Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And so Spurgeon, preaching or writing on this, says, Why is it that we have seen the church endure to this day? How is it that we are confident that should even worse times arrive, the church would weather the storm and abide till moons shall cease to wax and wane? Why this security? Only because Christ is in the midst of her. You do not believe, I hope, in the preservation of orthodoxy by legal instruments and trust deeds. This is what too many dissenters have relied upon, but they are like broken reeds if we rely on them. Neither can we depend on Parliament and its laws. We may drop the most express and distinct form of doctrine, but we shall find that the next generation will depart from the truth, unless God shall be pleased to give it renewed grace from on high. You cannot secure the life of the church by any particular system. History shows that churches have prospered as well as failed under different systems. The fact is that forms of government have very little to do with the vital principle of the church. The reason why the Church of God exists is not her ecclesiastical regulations, her organisation, her formularies, her ministers, or her creeds, but the presence of the Lord in the midst of her. And while Christ lives and Christ reigns and stands and feeds his church, she is safe. But if he were once gone, it would be with her as it is with you and me when the Spirit of God has departed from us. We are weak as other men, and she would be quite as powerless. And there's a little section down here for meditation. This is obviously the editor of the Spurgeon's work here. The foundation rock on which the church is built is neither Peter and his supposed successors, nor Peter's creed and its successors, but the immovable Christ, the Son of the living God. Just a little encouragement there for you that ultimately we need Christ, and the gates of hell will not prevail against the Church of Christ. The Church of Christ has endured down through all these generations, and persecutions, trials, famine, plague, all these kind of things. We can be thankful for that. We don't know what will endure in our time here across the world, but we know that ultimately the Church of Jesus Christ will endure, and that's just an encouragement for us today. So I hope that's helpful to you, and hope everyone's doing okay, and hopefully I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in a strange kind of way. As I've said in the email, I'll email a link around, so folk are just ready to click on that about 11:15, and then the video will go live at 11. So if there's a black screen, that's fine. That's me just waiting for everyone to get in, and I'll start at 11. And I'll also post it on the Facebook page for anyone else who might be interested in watching. And pray for that, because this may be an unusual opportunity for somebody who maybe has never been at church. They might just have time on their hands and think, hey, why not? Oh, I can watch this. So pray for that, and just pray for me to just preaching to a webcam. I'd appreciate prayer for that. I've never done that before. This has been good practice for that. So thank you for your patience, and just hope it's an encouragement to you tomorrow, and hopefully speak to you all soon.